As Italy exited the Euro 2021 as the tournament champions, they were on a 37-game unbeaten run. But since their last major triumph, they've won just 21 of their 46 competitive matches, and the team that has more World Cups than any other country, except Brazil obviously, are labouring to even qualify for the next year's tournament in USA, Mexico and Canada. But the tricky part, if they fail to do so, this will be a third consecutive World Cup without Italy participating. So what's gone wrong for the Squadra Azzurra, and can they change their background in time for the 2026 World Cup? Italy's prestige is linked to their history. Few footballing nations can claim a legacy as rich, decorated and influential as the Azzurri. 4 World Cup titles, 1934, 1938, 1982 and 2006, make them one of the most successful national teams in history. To be more precise, between 1934 and 2006, the Italian national team has won every 4th World Cup in which they took part. Apart from the world recognition, they've also won 2 European championships, had countless iconic players and a tactical culture that shaped global football for generations. From the unbeatable Catenaccio of the post-war era, where defensive mastery and disciplined organisation suffocated opponents, to the artistry of players like Roberto Baggio, Alessandro Del Piero and Andrea Pirlo, Italy have been both feared and admired. After a turbulent period throughout the 2010s, suddenly a certain Roberto Mancini woke up a sleeping giant, and Italy won the Euros in 2021 basically out of nowhere. They ran through the tournament, achieving notable victories over Belgium and Spain before overcoming England at Wembley in a penalty shootout. Gianluigi Donnarumma was named player of the tournament. That night re-established Italy's aura and seemed to put an end to their post-2010 decline. This success followed a world record 37-match unbeaten run spanning 2018 to 2021. This run ended against Spain in the Nations League semi-final, but the message was clear. Italy had found their identity again and could compete with the best teams. However, when everyone was expecting the new era of Italian domination to begin, the team dropped back down to the same level as in the 2010s, if not lower. Costly draws and missed chances in qualifying pushed Italy into the March 2022 World Cup playoffs, where they suffered a historic 1-0 home defeat to North Macedonia in Palermo. Failing to reach a second consecutive World Cup turned the Euro glow into a hangover and raised deeper questions about goal scoring, leadership, turnover and handling pressure. Results since then have been mixed rather than catastrophic. Italy has twice won the bronze medal at the Nations League finals, beating Belgium in 2021 and the Netherlands in 2023, which proves that they can still perform well in tournaments. Off the pitch, Mancini resigned in August 2023. The federation turned to Luciano Spalletti, fresh from winning the Serie A title with Napoli, to modernise the attack and stabilise the team selection. Euro 2024 was expected to be the tournament in which Italy would get back on track and prove the world wrong. Yes, they scraped through a tough group consisting of Spain, Croatia, after Mattia Zaccagni's iconic goal, which allowed them to finish above the Balkan side. This was expected to be the moment that would give them the wings to fly through another iconic Euros campaign. However, they were disappointed to lose to Switzerland in the round of 16. Things went from bad to worse. In the opening match of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, Italy were humiliatingly thrashed 3-0 by Norway in Oslo, with goals from Soloth, Nusa and Haaland. They currently sit third in Group I, behind Norway and Israel, despite having played fewer matches. Those disastrous last 2 years give the impression that the dark ghosts of the catastrophic 2010 and 2014 World Cups, in which Italy exited the group stage, as well as the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, for which Italy failed to qualify, are back in full force. But what is the problem in this whole situation? If we take their last humiliation as our starting point, the defeat to Norway, former coach Luciano Spalletti admitted that, despite its quality, the squad was too fragile. The team struggled with basic tasks such as maintaining the offside line and tracking back, prompting Spalletti to hint at urgent crisis talks with the Italian Football Federation. Because we can't overlook the quality they have. Admittedly, they fall far behind nations like Spain, England, France and Portugal, which undoubtedly have the most talented squads in Europe and arguably the world, but Italy is definitely in the top 10 globally in terms of talent pool. Donnarumma, Bastoni and Barella are certainly among the top 5 in their respective positions by the end of the 2024-25 season. The core is top class. The fact that all 3 played in the Champions League final speaks for itself. There's also Fede Di Marco, Destiny Udogie, Matteo Retegui, Guglielmo Vicario, Moise Kean, Riccardo Calafiori and Manuel Locatelli, players who've proven their worth at national and club level. However, while all of these players have their qualities, the full picture is not clear. The main problem is that beyond a few reliable players, the squad lacks depth and balance. When injuries pile up, as they often do, Italy simply doesn't have the replacements to maintain quality. Keane's withdrawal due to injury, preventing him from participating against Norway and Moldova, Locatelli's absence and repeated defensive crises leave the team exposed. Dino Zoff himself, a legend of Italian football, bluntly stated that the Azzurri lack strong players, not necessarily in ability but in personality, leadership and mental presence. And talking specifically about the disaster against Norway, the legendary goalkeeper also mentioned that under Spalletti, Italy were implementing a style they don't have the necessary players to execute it. We went to Norway trying to play like Barcelona, but they played like Italy, 3 counter-attacks, 3 goals. Creativity is another glaring issue. You might think this is a bit controversial, but the Azzurri haven't had a proper playmaker since Andrea Pirlo's time. Midfielders like Jorginho and Verratti have offered control and tempo, but apart from Euro 2020, they've never shone for the national team. Jorginho even finished in the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or in 2021. That was mainly because he won both the Euros and the Champions League in the same year. But that doesn't matter right now because the lack of creativity in the Italian national team is a significant issue. The fact that some Italian observers have enviously pointed to Scotland's Billy Gilmour as the kind of midfielder they need speaks volumes. All due respect to Gilmour for winning the Scudetto in his debut season in Italy, but you can't deny that he barely got any playing time at Brighton a little over a year ago. Another problem is the tactical mismatch. Take Riccardo Orsolini for example. He consistently scores in Serie A, but he often finds himself sidelined in the national team because he obviously doesn't fit into the system. Rather than adapting tactics to the available talent, recent coaches have stuck to rigid setups, leaving effective players on the margins. Above all, however, Italy is plagued by fragility, both mental and structural. The Chiellini's, Bonucci's and Buffon's, who dragged the team through adversity, is gone. In its place is a team that looks unsure, hesitant and easily flustered under pressure. This is precisely why their triumph in 2021 came as a huge surprise to a whole generation of passionate Italian football fans. Yes, I'm risking a lot of hate for saying that, but Italy mainly won the Euros because of their momentum. It wasn't the result of a long process of trial and error, a unique talent or a superstar leader. The biggest proof of that is those 3 years since the triumph. Over those 36 months, Italy's level has slowly but surely dropped. Mancini couldn't maintain the high standard after Euro 2021, and then Spalletti failed to restore the team to its former glory. Now that Gennaro Gattuso is in charge, the next 4 to 6 games will show us what the new national team will look like. The more pessimistic fans reacted negatively to his appointment because he's presumably not the type of manager to revive the team's fortunes. His time at Marseille, Valencia and Napoli was dissatisfactory, so they probably have a point. Now, what's your take? How much time would Italy need to get back to at least top 5 in the world? Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, or just watch our last upload on Massimiliano Allegri's potential impact at AC Milan. Catch you there.